Welcome back to the Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson with Donna Hopkins, Moises, Linares, and joining us is Nicole White. Thanks for being here, Nicole.
Thank you guys for having me here.
All right, and Nicole, there were several rule changes this season in the NFL, and in light of recent concerns regarding concussions and player safety, we've decided to explore a particular rule change to see what kind of impact it may have on the game.
Definitely. The crown of the helmet rule is in full effect for the 2013 season. The rule states that any ball carrier or tackler cannot initiate contact by delivering a blow with the crown of his helmet anywhere outside of the tackle box. It passed with NFL owners by a vote of 31-1, and it's been met with anger by a few, indifference by some, and full embrace by others. We spoke with some of the players to find out just how they feel. Let's hear what they had to say.
To each his own, but to me it's not going to bother me because I never leave with my head. I think that's dangerous to drop your head. I mean, you're only setting yourself up for to get hurt. So I never did that. I mean, I always lower my shoulder if I'm going to truck somebody. But, I mean, the rule is pretty it's good.
We had a meeting about it. You know, Coach Turner tells us reminds us all the time about it.
Our coach never wants us to leave with the crown of our helmet anyways, because he's always aware that there's life after football. And when you do that, the rule says, you know, you can't line up someone in between the tackles.
You can't line them up. You can't lower your crown. You can't strike them with it, you know, which is easy. I mean, like, but they also said, like, if you're going at an angle, you can do it.
Always lean forward with your eyes and head forward towards the goalpost.
I learned my junior year in college where I ended up having a back injury, so I know all about that, and I'm being real cautious about that at all times.
It's a safety measure. It's a physical game. We know that, and people should expect it to be a physical game, but they are doing a great job of finding ways to make it a lot safer for everyone.
I'm real cautious about it every single time, and, you know, I'm pretty sure I will never get fined about that.
And you know, guys, it's interesting because we heard from the running backs and they kind of all had the same thoughts on it, but we also had the chance to speak with wide receiver Pierre Garçon and tight end Fred Davis, and they took different stances on it. Pierre said that, you know, while he understands why they have the rule in place, that when you're in the heat of the game and you're going through everything that you have to do with your position, it's also hard to now think about, okay, now I have to make sure I don't drop my head this way, and I've got to use my shoulder. You know, you have just a few short seconds to run your route correctly, turn around, look for the ball, grab it, and you obviously, you know, you want to advance towards the end zone. So it's a lot that they have to think about. And Fred Davis, he took very much a different stance on it, and he said while he understands why they have the rule, that he feels like it's making the game a little soft. And I think that he's not the only person that we've heard from that feels like the NFL is changing these rules a lot. So are we headed in a direction where before we know it, it's going to be closer to flag football than the sport that we've come to love?
It's safety reasons, and I understand that. And you think about it, the people who lower their heads the most would be the running back. Listen to what they just said. They don't do it anyway. So with the wide receivers and the tight ends and everything, I think that it's a good rule because rules change all the time. I mean, you got to be able to think. They're football players. Good grief, come on. Stop crying. I mean, these rules are put in place for their safety reasons. And I think that every year goes by, and you can probably attest to this, that rules are totally changing to make the game better and safer and everything. And they just have to adjust. They've got to remember 1,000 and some plays throughout the course of a season. Come on, a little few
and
more.
And remember to hold on to the ball.
Exactly.
I mean, there's so many things. But you know, a lot of players used to lead with their head back in the day, but they had those old, like you said, leather helmets, and you know, they didn't have these big. These helmets are so strong now and so hard. They can really.
The leather was all Donna. But on your point, I think it's important for the league to take care of the players. Now, if you're going to assess that problem, you got to look at, it's not just that. There's a lot of problems. How many knee injuries have you had in the past few years? Now, let me tell you this, and this is my question. How hard is it to be a ref nowadays? It's tough. Is that a low hit that you go in low? It's a lot of new things, and it only makes that job that much tougher.
And, you know, another thing is one of the rules that they were talking about you know, the quarterbacks now are running the ball. And with this read option, the NFL has actually come out also and said that the quarterback, once he hands the ball off in that read option, the defensive players don't really know whether he has the ball, and they are allowed to hit that quarterback.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing with
So
the option.
that's another reason why you just said it's going to be tough for the referees to really make calls.
I think there's certain plays where you know the defensive player doesn't know, and there's other plays where you just want to check the quarterback and say, hey, I'm right here. Do that again.
Yeah, but the option is basically a running play from the start to the end, and until he gets rid of that ball, he's fair game like a running back.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it wouldn't be a penalty. So you're taking your life quarterback into your own hands.
So maybe these quarterbacks that are running now may not run as much. You saw it in the Redskins game. They did not read. They didn't do the read option too much with him running. So
when we talk about the Redskins, let's just remember it was probably the worst game we've seen in a while. So
it's very true. And also another point to this new rule is, you know, talking about how difficult it is for the referees and for the entire ref staff. I know that you had talked about it before, but there's a sideline judge from last year, Robert Tolan, and he said that looking at the 2012 season, this penalty would have only been called 5 times. And if you look at the 2013 season, so far we haven't seen that much football played, but we've had 65 preseason games, we've had 16 regular season games. If I'm doing the math correctly, that's 81 games that we've seen so far this season. No, this penalty has not been called at all this season. So
I think the coaches have really talked to the players, and I think they're prepared for that rule change.
And the thing about it is they go through the training camps and with the new rule changes and everything, so they're aware of some of these things to adjust to them.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for that information, Nicole.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
And we have to keep an eye out for all these rule changes and how they're impacting the game throughout the season. And Moises, gracias, mi amigo. Did I say that right?
You said that perfectly. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I was waiting for this opportunity for, since last season?
Since last season.
It finally happened. It's been a great experience.
All right, great to have you here. And you know you are always welcome back at any time. And
He didn't mess up your name either.
I tell you what, when can viewers catch you on Telemundo?
They could watch me Monday through Friday. I'm going to be speaking in Spanish, but I do the 6 and 11 o'clock newscast, the sports segment. I do a lot of Redskins, so if you're interested in watching some Spanish Redskins report, we're always doing that.
Okay, and thanks, Donna, as always. Great work, partner. For the Sideline Report, I'm Marvin Jackson, and also wanted to thank Miss Nicole White before I go off. And we'll see you next time on the Sideline Report. Take care, everybody.